Hey, this is Stacy from Let's Cook, y'all. Welcome back to our channel. We're starting out this week with a pantry pull. I had some tahini sauce in my refrigerator. I have used this for a Buddha bowl or some hummus, and I looked around and found a recipe that used it and used some pantry ingredients like soba, udon, or in my case, I used spaghetti noodles. I mixed up a sauce of creamy peanut butter. The tahini I was trying to use up. You could probably use all peanut butter, it just wouldn't taste the same. I did thin it out a little bit at a time with some just warm water until I got it the consistency that I wanted. Then you add some soy sauce, or in my case I always use liquid aminos. You can also use coconut aminos. And then small amounts of rice wine vinegar and sesame oil. The recipe called for sugar. I used brown sugar and then some garlic and ginger. Depending on how spicy you want it, you can add a little bit or a whole lot of sriracha. I just added one little squirt. The original recipe calls for you to toss the noodles as soon as they cooked in peanut oil. I didn't have that, so I used what I had, which is canola. I also didn't have the green onions. It would be much better with it. I just used what I had, which was some carrots, some red onion, and some chives. I mixed it all together and also put on a little toasted sesame seeds and chopped peanuts.
I'm fixing to taste my first attempt at cold sesame noodles. I only did half the package. I used thin spaghetti because I didn't have udon or soba. I did go ahead and make up the full amount of the sauce, and now I've got to decide if I'm going to keep that refrigerated to do later, or once I taste this, if I go ahead and cook the rest of the noodles. I think it's going to be pretty good. Kind of excited. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think I'm going to cook the rest of the noodles. I think I'm going to do them a minute longer. They're just a little bit on the chewy side, see if I can get them a little softer, and stick these cold noodles in the refrigerator until I get ready to make the rest of the dinner. I did cook the entire 12-ounce package of thin spaghetti. Got a nice big, I think that's a 2 or 2.5 quart Corningware. I should have probably halved the peanut sauce or the tahini sauce. I've got about almost half a cup left, but I think everything is refrigerator or shelf stable, so I'm going to save that and make this again when I get green onions. But I've got some sesame seeds on top. I'm going to chop up a few more peanuts, and these are going to be delicious with tonight's dinner.
I had a half a pound of turkey in my freezer that I thawed out. I sauteed that up in a pan, seasoned it with garlic, onion, ginger, and some white pepper. This is the other half bag of the coleslaw. I promised you guys last week I'd show you what I actually bought the coleslaw for. It's to make homemade egg rolls. I added some more vegetables, just what I had on hand. I finally diced some carrots and some onions and mixed those in with the slaw mix. I used soy sauce, or in my case the liquid aminos. I also added some more garlic and ginger and a whole lot more pepper and just kind of tasted it as I went along.
Once I turn the heat off, I'm going to add a little bit of sesame oil and then let the mixture cool. Probably about 15 or 20 minutes before I try to roll it in the wrappers.
I've never rolled egg rolls before, so I watched a YouTube video actually. First thing is to keep them wet with a paper towel while you're working with them. Take one on a diamond and put one of the points towards your body. Put some of the mixture in sort of the middle to lower third. Fold up each side, and then you're going to make it kind of look like an envelope. You come up at the bottom with a point. Some videos had you using an egg wash, some had water. You take those 3 points at the top and then roll it up. So it was a really easy process, and I got to rolling, and out of a half a pound of turkey, I think I got about 10 egg rolls. I wanted to try these in my air fryer, so I spritzed them with olive oil spray and did them in my air fryer.
I saw a lot of different times and temperatures online. I'm going to try 360. I'm going to flip them at 5 and see if they look done at 10. I might need to cut in 1. In the meantime, I'm going to keep making more and cook them, and I'm going to freeze the rest of them so I'll have some homemade egg rolls in the freezer. That's the 5-minute mark. I'm going to flip them. They may need longer than 10 minutes. They're not browning that great yet, but we're going to keep trying. First casualty. I either didn't spray the basket good enough or I tugged on it a little too hard, but one of them stuck. I may try to salvage that one and eat that one for me. Hopefully the rest of them will come out. So I felt like trying some new things tonight. Homemade egg rolls, the cold sesame noodles. I did make some edamame. This is probably not going to be enough for Tim when he gets in, so I can always do him crab rangoon, egg drop soup. Probably won't steam him some dumplings. Maybe this will be enough since this does have a little meat in it. But this is very budget friendly. Other than the cost of the egg roll wrappers, I got 10 out of a ½ pound of ground turkey. So I'm going to try these and leave a comment. I'll show you a picture of my plate. But this brings up this week's question. I did make 2 new things tonight. So leave us a comment. When you make a new recipe, do you tend to make things to go with it to complete the meal that you know how to make? Or have you ever gone way out on a limb and made everything new all in one meal? I don't tend to do that. I like to make things that I know how to make so that I have something to fall back on. So this was kind of a leap for me to make 2 of the 3 things that were new. We do have the Sonic rule, which if you've been here before, we've explained. When Tim and I got married, he said if you try something new, we don't like it, we'll always go to Sonic. So if the egg rolls aren't any good, or the noodles are good, I've tasted them. If the egg rolls aren't any good, I do have some in the freezer. We can always go to Sonic. Leave us a comment with your answer to this week's question. Tonight is one of those nights where I felt like we needed to cook some stuff out of the freezer, so this stuff doesn't go together, but we're going to work with it. Tim had 2 pieces of sausage left, so he grilled that for him. We're going to try grilled, I can't remember if we've grilled cod before. I made a little boat, put some lemon juice and olive oil, salt, and pepper on it. So some fish for me. We also had this bag of mushroom risotto from Trader Joe's. So I cooked that up and made an everything but the kitchen sink salad. So stuff doesn't really go together, but we are in the middle of a quarantine and trying to clean out the freezer. And Tim always likes sausage. He doesn't care what goes with it. That's what's for dinner tonight.
The sausage goes with everything.
That sausage is like 88% fat.
If it was 89, it would be that much better.
Why is it on my plate? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It was a mistake.
In case you hadn't figured it out, the green plate is always mine. How is it? That's what's for dinner tonight. And we've rolled around to yet another night where I don't really feel like cooking, so I just made a quick quesadilla. I'm going to eat a half an avocado. Tim is actually playing golf today. It is warmed up quite nicely here. I have no idea what he's going to want when he gets in. Leftovers, quesadilla, sandwich. Poor guy might even have to eat a bowl of cereal. Just don't have it today.
A quick and easy pantry meal for me. We had a couple of flatbreads or naans in the freezer left from a big pack at Sam's. Also had a small package of homemade pesto from my basil plants last summer, but I knew it wouldn't be enough for this recipe, so we did buy the jar of basil pesto from Sam's, and these are really easy chicken pesto flatbreads.
Mike can get a third one. These flatbreads are better if you shred your own mozzarella, and I did have a block, but I was just too lazy to do it. Hopefully the caking agent or the flour or whatever that's in this pre-shredded won't mess it up. I've actually never made this recipe with the already shredded mozzarella. I'll put these in a 400-degree oven for about 8 or 10 minutes till everything is melty. And we'll see if I can crisp up some of the little pieces to go with pesto on the side. I made some pesto chicken flatbreads. I crisped up a little bit of the leftover flatbread that we can have with more of the pesto since I've got that big jar from Sam's. I took my last zucchini, cut it up, tried it in the air fryer, breaded zucchini, crisp, chips, whatever you want to call them. Made a little ranch dip those in, and I made us a quick little salad. We will serve our plates, and I'll show you a quick picture. Pesto chicken flatbreads and zucchini is what's for dinner tonight.
I had a flank steak in the freezer, so I thawed it out and then used the only marinade that we have ever made. It's an Asian flavored, and I'll leave a link to it below.
Is this when you beat on your chest and say, I have made fire?
Something like that.
Next time we get one of those big flank steaks from Sam's, we're going to cut that puppy in half.
Well,
Yeah, because that's way too much meat for 2 people. 2 pounds.
Well, in that case, I'll just eat some of your share.
That'll work.
Also from the freezer, a bag of Kroger brand French cut green beans. I steam them in the microwave for the package directions, and then I add them to a skillet with a little bit of oil. I get them a little charred, and then I add some soy sauce, or in my case, liquid aminos, and then some pepper. And once they are cooked and heated all the way through, I take them off the heat, and since the marinade for the flank steak was Asian, I added a little sesame oil, or I often use sesame seeds. When the flank steak comes off the grill, we do rest it for about 10 minutes per pound, and then be sure to always slice against the grain. Tim has this timing down to a science to get it just the right doneness for us.
Looks pretty good.
Pretty perfect. Are you going to taste it and see?
I am. It's good.
Grilled Asian flank steak, sauteed green beans, mashed potatoes. This is a true pantry meal. Had a big slab of meat in the freezer and green beans in the freezer and instant mashed potatoes. That is what's for dinner tonight, and this will make very delicious salads with steak, steak sandwiches, and tacos with steak. So we will be eating off this leftovers for a couple days at least. That's what's for dinner tonight. Tim is always happy when he has any kind of red meat left over, so we're trying something. I took a flatbread that we had left over, I mixed some mayonnaise and horseradish, topped it with the flank steak. He asked for red onions and his jalapeno garlic olives, which is not my thing. So we're going to try that and top it with provolone and see if we can heat it up somehow in the air fryer. I'm not sure if stuff's gonna blow around or what's gonna happen, but we're fixing to give it a shot and see if that's a edible dinner for him. Tim's flatbread, 360 in the air fryer for about 3 or 4 minutes, just enough to melt the cheese. These are his kind of leftovers for dinner: red meat and 2 kinds of chips. That's what's for dinner tonight.
Okay, y'all, I admit the urge to bake is still very strong around here. I'm eating altogether too much sweets, but that did not stop me from pulling out a really old recipe. This is a no-bake, easy icebox dessert. I will leave a link to the full recipe. You'll need some graham crackers, pudding mix, and the milk to mix it up with, some softened butter, cream cheese, some honey, powdered sugar, some whipped topping or Cool Whip to fold in, and chocolate goes on top. This is an easy icebox chocolate eclair dessert. Since it's just the 2 of us, I cut this in half. You can make the full recipe in a 9x13. I take an 8x8 glass Pyrex and spray it with cooking spray. Then I put down a layer of graham crackers. Then I mix up the pudding mix with the milk and take some softened cream cheese and mix that in with the beater. You're looking for a pretty thick consistency. Then you'll take your thawed out whipped topping or Cool Whip and fold that in gently. This is the pudding base that you'll put in a couple of layers on top of the graham crackers. I tried my spatula, then I got my offset spatula. It's been a while since I'd made this, and then I realized probably the easiest thing to do was just use the back of a spoon to spread it all out. You'll do a second layer of graham crackers and then the rest of the pudding mixture, and then you'll end with the graham crackers on top. The eclair layer on top is some softened butter, a little bit of milk, a little bit of honey, some melted chocolate. I just used the baker's chocolate and melted it in my microwave. Mix this all together. I stirred it with a spoon so it wouldn't splatter, and then used my mixer, and then slowly mix in the powdered sugar. And as I said, a link to this full recipe is at our website, and I'll leave the link below. After I spread the chocolate layer on top, I covered it and put it in my refrigerator to chill. It needs a minimum of 4 hours, and it does better the longer it goes.
Are you making a tea?
Clever, huh?
I wondered why you weren't going all the way through.
The little size for you, the big
just
size for me.
Piece already. Oh, golly, really? Is this a checkerboard?
No, that's your piece and that's my piece.
I don't think so.
And we got a tea.
Oh, golly. Yeah, I told you got to get a spatula.
This is a great summertime dessert for Memorial Day or July 4th. I had not made it in a while. I forgot just how good it is. I will definitely be making this one again, and I hope you get a chance to try it. Thanks so much for stopping by our channel. Let's cook, y'all. Have a wonderful and blessed day, y'all.